I'm so confused. I'm not really sure what just happened in that game. So mixed. The first kind of 70 minutes or so, I'm just thinking to myself, great, another one of those negative Operation Arsenal episodes. Another review where I'm just talking about how bad the tactics are, how bad some of the players have been, but then suddenly we win. I can't explain that. Actually, no, I can. Pepe. Now, just before we get into the rest of the review, massive thank you to FOTMob for sponsoring this video. If you are looking for the best football app to have on your phone, look no further. All of the latest up-to-date information, fixtures, results, transfers, all of that good stuff right at your fingertips. And did I mention it's free? Yeah, you should probably go ahead and download that. There's a link in the description. Let's continue the review. Pepe has arrived. Bless Pepe. My God. 2 stunning free kicks, and it was worth the wait, wasn't it? Well, no, I would have rather he did this a couple of weeks ago, but now maybe this is the kick start that he needs to start turning up week in, week out for this club. I mean, he's a very expensive player. You can see he's got quality. You can see he really is a top player, but he was lacking confidence, and man, I hope those free kicks have boosted that confidence, because we will see a different player. And do you know what? Normally, before a game, I will just stay quiet, wait till the team sheet comes out, and then talk about the whole setup. But this time I thought, I'm going to tweet out what I would do. I put out my formation, and it included Pepe. I thought, do you know what? What we need from Pepe right now is just a confidence boost. A game like this one, a game against a club that, no disrespect, but come on, it should be an easy, straightforward victory for us, right? I think they're 4th in Portugal right now, so they're doing all right. Don't get me wrong, Vitoria are a decent team, and you saw that tonight. They were able to score 2, could have scored more. I guess they kind of should have won tonight, but quality proved a little bit too much in the end from Pepe for them. But I wanted Pepe to start for this exact reason. So when I didn't see him start, I thought, well, yeah, obviously he's going to go with some of the other players. Pepe played at the weekend, whatever. But now you kind of see where I was coming from, what I was thinking. This is a great game for a player like Pepe, who is struggling for confidence, because he was always going to do well. I just had a feeling as soon as he came on that this was going to be an ideal substitution for him, a good appearance for him. That's the word I'm looking for. So really pleased that worked out. But I've got to say, Ceballos changed the game for me. He should be starting week in, week out in a little bit of a deeper role. I don't want to see him playing a Mesut Ozil type role. I don't want to see him playing number 10. I want him to play as number 8. Not necessarily box to box, but certainly kind of what Santi Cazorla used to be for us. I see a lot of Santi Cazorla in Ceballos. And Guendouzi also came on and did a fantastic job. He's such a great player. I don't know what it is about. I can't really put my finger on it. Guendouzi is just good at kind of everything. He's a really good, true box-to-box type player. And I'm so glad that we are giving him game time. For me, because Torreira is struggling to get into this team, it seems, at the moment. And we're all questioning why. I think it's very easy to see the problem here. Torreira is not being used in his proper position. There are times during this game, and if you watch back the highlights, you'll see it many times. Torreira is our furthest forward midfielder. He's effectively being used as a 10. And he does get back. He does get his interceptions in. We know how good he is at that. But if you really think back to when we signed him, well over a year ago now, a year and 4 months or whatever it is, he was quite literally signed to be our pit boy midfield, our defensive midfielder. We saw what he could do in the Serie A, and he was one of their best players in that league that season at what he was doing there, being a defensive-minded player. And we're just wasting that. Last season, we saw how good he can be. I thought he would be even better this year, but he's taken a massive step back, and it's because of Emery. It really is. This is one of the huge problems I've got with Emery, and I'm not Emery out, but I really think we should be looking elsewhere. This is not going to last. This isn't the future. This is something that we've kind of put a stopgap after Wenger's left, and he's kind of come in and steadied the ship. In fairness, we haven't dropped off as far as we could have potentially, but we haven't improved either. So I feel like this is a problem. This is a problem. The tactics are questionable. Players like Torreira not being used in their proper positions, and I feel like, Allegri's available, that kind of thing. Let's get some feelers out there. Let's email his team and just see, what's going on, because it looks like potentially we're going down that kind of Chelsea route over the years, and some other clubs that have just chopped and changed managers a lot. I don't want Arsenal to become that. I want the next manager to be the manager, the boss, for a long time. I just don't see Emery lasting more than this season at this rate, but this result is papering over some cracks, some terrible decisions, and the Torreira thing is getting to me. It really is. Play him as a number 6. It's not difficult. A defensive midfielder. I don't want to see him further forward than Ceballos, Guendouzi. He should be behind them, in front of the 4 at the back formation, just sitting in, that little pocket in between the centre-backs. We saw plenty of players do that in the past for Arsenal, and I really feel like he is perfect for that. So why he's far forward playing as a number 10, it beats me. So for me, the only way we can really get the system to work, if we want Ceballos, Guendouzi and Torreira in midfield as a 3, then we have to play a 4-3-3. We can't do this 4-2-3-1 formation that we're trying to do with wingers, central kind of attacking midfielder as a number 10, striker, and then 2 DMs. I mean, we've seen it with Emery. He likes to play a very defensive team, even at home at times, and it's embarrassing. I'm saying we kind of go back to that, but don't play them as 3 DMs. You can have defensive players that can do more going forward. I think Ceballos is going to be a fantastic player for us. Reportedly, 35 million is what Real Madrid want. Pay it. Do it. Get him. I don't care. Pay it. 35 million for Dani Ceballos. He will be an incredible player for us over the next few years. Play him in central midfield along with Guendouzi and Torreira in between. And therefore, Guendouzi and Ceballos can go forward. They can be creative. You've then got Pepe on the right, who's going to drop back and receive the ball and run forward. You've got Aubameyang, whoever it may be, on the left. And then you've got striker up top, whether it's Lacazette, whoever. I think that's the future of our system here. So that does include Torreira in there. There is no place for Xhaka, in my opinion. Maitland-Niles played today. There's no way he gets into this team at the moment. He has been a rather inconsistent player this season. I know he's done a job for us at right back, but now that we're seeing him being played in his preferred role, which is an attacking player, I just don't see it. If anything, I see him as a central midfielder. I know that he said that in the past, but now he wants to be a right winger. I'm getting feels of Oxlade-Chamberlain here. Oxlade-Chamberlain wanted to leave because he was not being used in his right position, and he wanted to play central midfield, and look what happened. He ended up going to Liverpool, and he's doing great things there. Glad to see him back from his injury. But other players that I just don't think really should be starting games at the moment. Willock is looking a little bit, made a great start to the season, and that's fine. He's a young player. He's not going to be at that level every single game. You're going to see him have dips, and I think he's in a dip right now. He was awful at the weekend, and again today he just did not do enough, and rightly so, was taken off. So I don't think he gets close to the team. Kolasinac, nope. For me, Tierney proved again today his quality going forward is better than Kolasinac, and that's what Kolasinac does. He gets forward. Defensively, Tierney made a massive mistake on the first goal from Vitoria, but after that, I think he was very solid. A little bit rusty, but that's to be expected. Bellerin, captain. There's no way that Chambers should be playing at right back when Bellerin is available, and Bellerin was great tonight. Again, rusty. It's going to take him a bit of time, but you can see when he's going forward, when he's got the ball at his feet, he's a much better option than anyone else at the club in that position. Holding, rusty. Again, wasn't his best game ever, but he was still strong at the back. He made 1 or 2 mistakes, but that's to be expected. He hasn't played properly in months. I thought Mustafi was fine. He's done very well for us this season so far, but this was the first time he wasn't able to get a clean sheet. But I think what we saw there is potential for Mustafi to work his way back into this team. Socrates, I don't think right now he gets in ahead of Chambers, for example. And I don't think David Luiz gets in ahead of Holding. So you're starting to see our first team emerge, I think. And games like tonight are vital for that. Against a weaker team, you should be seeing better performances from these players. And although we didn't get a 10 out of 10 performance from everyone, there were some good performances out there. So for me, it's got to be Holding and either Chambers or Socrates in defence as the 2 centre-backs. And it's got to be Bellerin and Tierney as the wing-backs. And then that 3 midfield I was talking about. And then I would like to see Aubameyang and Lacazette Aubameyang will be a left winger, but he will be acting as a second striker almost with Lacazette up top, and then Pepe on that right with the confidence he's going to get from this. I think that really is our emerging first team. So the names that I've mentioned that shouldn't be starting, it's just the way it is, isn't it? Leno, of course, should be in goal, although I think Martinez is absolutely fine as a second string goalkeeper. I think he had a relatively strong game. He couldn't really do much about the 2 goals that went in. It was definitely defensive errors. Saka. Now, Saka didn't play today, and it should be noted that I love the guy, but I don't think he should be starting ahead of some of the other players, that even Aubameyang, who can play on that left side. So that's another player that kind of comes into this equation for me. Good player, has a massive future ahead of him. But let's talk about Martinelli. This kid, oh my God. Been excited to talk about him. I knew going into this game he was going to score. And he does it. Again, Tierney, beautiful cross, headed in from Martinelli. Of course, Pepe got the other 2 goals and he's going to get all of the headlines. But Martinelli worked tirelessly tonight. He is an incredible talent. And it makes me wonder what's going to happen to Nketiah. Nketiah can barely get a game at Leeds, even though when he comes on he always scores. I don't know why he's not starting ahead of Bamford or whatever. He hasn't scored for 4 months or something. So Nketiah should be playing more at Leeds, and he's maybe a step ahead of Martinelli. But honestly, I don't know what's going to happen here. Is Nketiah going to come back next year, and Martinelli has continued this great form and can't get a game here ahead of Martinelli? I don't know what's going to happen to Nketiah. It's a little bit of a concern, that, because when you've got so many great young players fighting for the same positions, there's not many chances as there is, or as it is. I mean, Martinelli's not going to start every game in the Premier League. So when Nketiah comes back, how is he going to break into the team if there's already Martinelli ahead of him? So that is something that we need to think about in the future. But really impressed with Martinelli. I love how tirelessly he does work. He's got such great potential. I really do think he's going to be a great player for us. But in general, I wasn't happy with tonight. I really wasn't. I know it kind of sounds like I'm being very positive today in most things I'm saying. I'm not a fan of Emery's system. I don't think it's working for us. And I think ultimately we've got very lucky tonight that Pepe has stepped up and scored 2 fantastic free kicks. Otherwise, we're talking a completely different result and a different video from me, because we'd be all slamming it right now. But the fact is we managed to win. It is papering over the cracks. We need a different system. We need this kind of team to be starting in the Premier League. Torreira's got to start. You know, you can see he's got qualities. Just don't play him so far forward, you know. Honestly, my emotions are all over the place when games like this happen, where it's gone from terrible, then to, oh, wow, that was amazing. And then the review feels completely different to me. I have so many thoughts that goes through my head. I know the team that I expect to play in every week. And I haven't even touched on Ozil, by the way, because I said I wouldn't. I'm not talking about Mesut Ozil, because clearly something's going on. But I know what team I would play. Emery doesn't seem to know what team he wants to play. He makes the wrong decisions consistently. And as I've said in this video, we need to be putting feelers out now. We need to be looking around, because this isn't going to work. It isn't. It simply isn't going to work. We didn't actually deserve to win this game tonight. And we're talking a home game in the Europa League against Vitoria. I mean, come on. It should be a stroll in the park, even for our second string team. So it is disappointing, but fantastic to actually get the win. And that means we're still unbeaten in the Europa League. Martinelli continues his great form. And Pepe, finally, looks like he's going to be starting with a bit more confidence from now on. And that would be great. So thank you so much for watching this review. If you've enjoyed it, do leave a like. Make sure you subscribe with notifications turned on. And I will see you next time.